And people call capital ships pay to win. Come on. After my very first cheating video, which was about over 20,000 views, there was a massive surge in Star Citizen cheaters from the last patch. They were absolutely everywhere. Free Flight was completely riddled with these guys. Eventually, after a week or so of terror, probably more, SIG finally managed to turn back on the easy anti-cheat and claim to have banned them all. Idiots on Reddit and Spectrum, of course, proclaimed that this was the end and that SIG has destroyed the cheaters once and for all. That they have managed to do something that no other company has ever been able to do, which is completely and totally eliminate cheaters. Well, with what I just shown you, they are back, and they are back in force. They're probably going to be a bit more subtle this time, so no more mass killing of the server or anything like that. But make no mistake, they are here, and they are here to stay, and there is nothing that SIG can ever do to stop them. And right now, nothing in Star Citizen matters, and it's only going to get worse. Imagine a game where there's base building and base raiding, and orgs control things, and losing is this super punishing and awful thing that people they try to avoid at all costs. The higher the risk, the higher the reward, they say, right? Well, the higher the risk, the more cheaters there's going to be. We all know what other games to look at, Tarkov and Rust, as proof and evidence that this is inevitably what happens in those sorts of games. And the cheating never has to be over the top. I said this in my last video too. Imagine an org keeping a few accounts in their pocket when there's a real big battle coming up. They just bring a couple of those cheaters out of their pocket, those burner accounts. And they use those to give them just a little bit of an edge in a really important battle. Do you really think that orgs aren't going to do such a thing if the stakes are high and all the cards are on the table? No amount of Bushido Code honor is going to prevent a cutthroat organization, which is what most of them are, by the way, from doing whatever it takes to win at any cost. And how about those activists out there? People were claiming that the cheaters from the last patch were Tier 0 activists. Well, the person who made this claim is a complete moron and should never be taken seriously, but there are people that are that stupid who will say such a thing and make such a ridiculous claim. The reality is that this game is going to be infested with cheaters, and I would argue it has been for quite some time. The overt, over-the-top ones, they're not the ones that you have to worry about. They're not going to be the most common ones that you see. The ones that you have to worry about are going to be the ones that are giving themselves just a little bit of an edge. Take, for example, what you just saw in those opening clips. This guy comes out of nowhere with an Aurora, with modified damage, and one-shots 2 capital ships. What if this guy was not trying to be so obvious? What if he was just doing regular dogfighting or bounty hunting or pirating or whatever it is, and he gives himself maybe 10 more damage per shot on his repeater? That's going to add up over time. What if he gives himself maybe a bit more performance? Just a little bit more, not much, nothing too noticeable. That's going to give him a big advantage. How about if he tweaks the game's already existing auto-aim just to be a little bit more powerful? It's going to give him an advantage. Those are the kind of cheaters you are going to see in Star Citizen, and they are going to be incredibly common. I have been right so far about everything related to cheaters. I would say that this individual that's targeting me and only me is probably doing so because of the video that I made. I'm used to this. I have no doubt that due to this video's thumbnail and me calling these people out, that they're going to come after me even more. And that's fine. I totally expect that. But at least I have some sort of, I hate to say this phrase, I hate this word, but I have a quote-unquote platform to at least bring awareness, I also hate saying that too, to bring awareness to this situation that's been going on for quite some time. A lot of people talk about, we'll just put in super anti-cheat, kernel level anti-cheat, whatever it is. Listen, none of it ever works. The only way that you stop cheaters is by having active moderators, administrators. Back in the old days of gaming when we owned our own servers and things were not a quote-unquote live service anymore, You could keep cheaters under control by having an admin spectate a player and see what he's doing, and then just ban him, get him off the server, and then you would not have to deal with that guy ever again. That's how things used to be. It was active moderation. Well, there's a lot of differences now. Well, one, these aren't our servers, we don't own them. Two, for SIG to do that, they have to pay these people. They are employees, not volunteers. And don't even suggest volunteer services, that's completely stupid. But they have to pay them. Customer service positions at companies do not generate revenue. You have to understand that. And that is why the cheating is always something so difficult that companies cannot really beat it. Not entirely, anyway. And again, it's the subtle ones. Everybody can ban that guy that's being obvious and rage hacking, but it's those subtle guys that require an admin to watch them, spectate them, and see them. SIG simply cannot do that. SIG simply will not do that. And the game, and as it's designed as an MMO, is not going to really allow for that anyway. So this is the reality that we are in, with not just this game, but all games. And the only thing you can do is you can make cheating a little less appealing, based on how you design your game, and you could make the effects or the impact that cheaters have on other customers in your game, okay, we're gonna use that word, other customers, you have to minimize the impact that they can have. It's still gonna be frustrating, it's still gonna be annoying, but it's gonna be a little bit more bearable, and hopefully players be willing to stick around every once in a while that they get attacked and killed by a cheater. Now, if a cheater has a massive impact with just one interaction with a player, I'm talking death of a spaceman level nonsense where you just lose everything, yeah, players are probably not going to want to come back from that. But if it's a more tolerable death and the loss isn't as bad, people are probably more willing to put up with it every once in a while that a cheater does take them out. And real quick to end this video, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. These cheaters are going to be backed by a real money trade. That's RMT, by the way, RMT. They're going to be backed by a real money trade. They are going to make money off of this. So when their $40 Aurora account comes out and does something or blows something up, they're probably going, by the time they get banned, they are probably going to have made twice more, probably even more, money back in real cash than they spent on that Aurora account. And that is the problem that games like Tarkov and all that have, is that the loss, sure, they lose an account, but the amount of money that they get from that account before it's banned, they just factor that into the profit and the loss. So it makes sense for them to keep doing it over and over and over again. So then you can have the RMT guys. I'm not being a doomer here. I expected this to happen. I definitely expected it to happen to me, especially after last video. I talked with a couple other guys from the Star Citizen community about this, and they're like, oh, they're going to come get you. Well, the guy, if you listen to this video, you know who you are. Well, they came and they got me a couple times, and probably going to get me some more. But that's fine. It comes with the territory. Anyway, what do you guys think? Hit me up in the comments. Let's talk about it. Keep your eyes open. And if you see something out there, don't forget to report it.